Atlantia Livere! Hello my friends! Today I will tell you how to regenerate your body. Cum să-ți regenerezi corpul. And as you know, many people are concerned because they say, oh, we are ingesting millions of viruses and bacteria in our air, in our food. Yes, we have every day of our life millions of viruses and bacteria floating in the air, inside our noses, inside our lungs, inside our bellies. There are many bacteria which help us digest the food. But that is not a reason for concern, because the human body is composed of 37 trillion and 200 billion cells. The man is a multicellular being, that is, it is formed of many cells. These cells are organized into tissues and organs, and they know how to cooperate between themselves to drive off infections. It is impossible for a virus or bacteria to kill a multicellular organism unless that multicellular organism has been severely deprived of sleep or food, or has ingested many toxins like alcohol, drugs, not only the drugs as marijuana, but also drugs as medicine, and chocolate and coffee and meat, because meat contains many toxins when the animal is slaughtered. It releases many toxins in the bloodstream, which eventually end up in the meat which you are eating. That is why it is not advisable to eat meat. Also, many people lose energy because they masturbate or they make sex, and they lose sleep, they lose nights, and they got very angry. They do not make ethical things, good things, they make bad things, and they hate other people, and all these things reflects into their own body and their ability, and the ability of their own body to regenerate. Yes, I have not eaten in the past 2 days. Why? Because I have nearly reached gold. It is a spiritual gold, and this is how I am feeding now myself with light. Mostly I am eating every 3 days once, and so but I feel a desire to eat now. I will go and eat. And so you know, when I was Asclepius, and when I was Asclepius, I gave all my medicine out to the Greeks. When I was Almoxe, I gave all my medicine out to the Dacians, to Dacia, but unfortunately they were conquered by the Romans, and everything I said to them was lost. So I have to tell you now the truth. The truth is that the human body is made to live 100,000 years under excellent and optimal conditions. That means no coffee, no chocolate, no meat, no drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco. And it also means you conserve your sexual energy. Yes, you can make sex with women and make children, not only from time to time, not every day. And you do not masturbate. You conserve your sexual energy, and that sexual energy is returned to you, and it helps develop cure for your illnesses and cure. You know, I almost every time I masturbate, I realize soon after that my energy level drops, and I become angry to everyone, and women no longer come to me. So this drop of energy also has spiritual effects, because you no longer have the optimism. You enter into a cycle of never-ending slavery in your life towards other people. You do not cherish freedom, you do not understand freedom, and all this reflects in your life. You enter into a cycle when you are acting like a robot, like many people are acting in the West. They want material gains. So this is how things happen if you do not take care of your physical body. Yes, exercises are good, you know when you can make them. Unfortunately, because my hand and leg are broken, I cannot make them, and my spinal column is hurting me. You know why? Because I do not have a spinal column, a spine. Because in the last 2 years I have desperately tried to stay in the graces of my own people, of a secret service and the army, which I swore in the end. But then I regret it, because they promised me to pay me and they did not. And now I am going very near the end of my divine mandate in 3 days. And so I must do in 3 days what I have not done in 15 years before. And I must tell you, this is my spiritual work. I must tell you, actually I already told you, but I will reiterate, you know. I will explain to you now how a cell is made. You know, cells are 2 types. There are bacteria and viruses, which are undeveloped cells. They are between the minerals and cells, you know, because cells are made from minerals. They are made of compounds taken from minerals. So we go from the Urania, which is the mineral civilizations, to Agartha and Shambhala, which are bacteria civilizations. And then we go to full cells, to full developed cells. Why I did create Agartha and Shambhala from bacteria, from wine and beer, and I did not create them full cells with the nucleus, because in a normal cells the impulses from the nucleus, which contains the RNA and the DNA, are transmitted to the dendrites, which are 8 to 12 arms and legs of the cells, and it helps the cells to move and to grab and ingest other things to feed itself. Well, those impulses, those commands, are transmitted in the ectoplasm of the cell between the nucleus and the epiderma and the dendrites through electrical arcs, much like the Tesla arcs. The way that Nikola Tesla found a way in 1910s to transmit electric energy without loss using electrical arcs between special coils called Tesla coils. This is the same technique used in living cells. But unfortunately, this technique consumes a lot of energy, so that is why fully developed cells need each other to support each other. They embrace each other and form tissues and organs and multicellular beings. On the other hand, the bacteria and viruses and microbes, which are undeveloped cells, they have the nucleus, and which means the RNA and the DNA spread all across the ectoplasm, though they don't have a nucleus. They don't need electrical arcs to transmit this kind of information. So, undeveloped cells are much weaker than developed cells. That is pretty obvious. When you have a microbial, bacterial or viral infection in your bloodstream, these viruses have special RNA and DNA strains to destroy your own cells. But considering that there are only a few millions, and you have 13 trillions and 200 billions of cells in your organism, and 19 billion neurons at females and 23 billion neurons at males in the human species, this makes very difficult for a virus to destroy your own body, because your own body has some special glands in the spinal column which produce red cells and white cells. These red cells and white cells are actually bacteria. They are produced and released into the bloodstream with the sole purpose of destroying the viruses, the bacteria and the microbes which are infecting your own body and causing you illnesses. So if you have enough energy, enough sexual energy, should I add, and if you restrain yourself from sex and masturbation, this will help your body use that energy for itself, grow new teeth in your mouth, cure your illnesses, cure your broken leg, your broken hand, and release more white cells and red cells into the bloodstream in order to fight those infections. On the other hand, and those bacteria, which are the red cells and the white cells, get very persistent into chasing those viruses. The viruses are adapting themselves, they are intelligent. beings, so they are almost conscious beings, like the beings of Agartha and Shambhala, and they constantly modify their RNA and DNA strains in order to adapt to your own body. So that is, it is important when you have an illness to stop masturbating and stop making sex and stop ingesting toxins and drugs and making losing night's sleep and eating meat and so on, because then you will help your own body accumulate more energy, and then the red cells and the white cells, if they are defeated by the bacteria, they will transmit the information about how they were defeated back to the spinal column, back to the neurons in the spinal column, and the neurons in the spinal column will produce, which make the neurovegetative system of your own body, will produce new ones which have the information required to defeat those viruses and bacteria. So that is why it is necessary when you are ill to keep a flow, a constant flow of energy into your own body. If you do not have enough energy, then perhaps you should make some meditation and imagine how light invades your body, going from the 7th chakra to the 6th, 5th, which is located here in the neck, 4th in the heart, 3rd between the lungs and the belly, 2nd between the belly and the sexual organs, and the 1st chakra, which is located between your penis and your anus. And so the light which invades your body goes all around the organs. If you cannot do this, and perhaps you can call somebody. Of course, you have to previously have been, or you have to be a being with more than 3 dimensions. You have to have at least 4 dimensions. I have 612 dimensions in order to do this. So in all effectiveness, you cannot get killed by a disease, no matter what is Ebola or anything else, unless you want it, or you have severely crippled your body, or you don't know, or you don't believe in your own ability to cure yourself, or you're a very evil being and you always make unethical decisions, or you hate other people, or you want to kill other people. So everything is connected with everything else. When you want to hurt someone, first you are hurting yourself, and then this energy is stored. That is why it is said the dragons are saying that you are not free. Actually, you are free, but you carry out the past energies of your past actions inscribed within yourselves. If you kill someone and you feel guilty, all this guilt will usually fall throughout your life. If you do not expel it, if you do not express it and expel it through forgiveness from yourself, forgive yourself and forgive others, and this in turn will severely hurt your body. And so this is how things works. This is how you can regenerate. Even if I have now 53% left of my life and 57% of my energy, but I can, if I stay about 3 months without masturbating, without making sex, and have a clean way of life, I can regenerate myself. It is very stupid to believe that you cannot regenerate your own teeth, because teeth are like fingernails. And my uncle said to me, well, if someone will take an instrument of torture and remove all your fingernails, new fingernails will not grow. Well, that depends, This is akin, of course, of having a dentist removing some of your own teeth because they are too badly damaged. But if you put your fingers there, you will notice that here and here there are new teeth waiting to grow in your mouth. You can check that. Okay. And and you know, the old teeth which are bad fall down and new teeth are growing. This is the same process that's happened when you were 10 years old. Of course, when you are a child, you acted like a child. Now you no longer believe, and you know. So nature is very complex. You have to understand that there are two levels of development of complexity between, or maybe three levels between the bacteria and your own body. First level of complexity is moving from undeveloped cells without a nucleus to developed cells with a nucleus. This is a very important step, because we had bacteria for 4 billion years, but only 1.25 billion years ago we have developed cells. The second step is going from the developed cells to new multicellular organisms, which are plants, reptilia, and mammals. Those beings have white and black vision, just like my father, who is a dragon, because those cells are not developed yet enough. That is why dragons get cancer. Cancer means that when you have an affliction, the cells grow in order to prevent an affliction, in order to further invade your own body. When you get nervous, on the top of your brain, a vein will collapse and blood will invade your brain. In order to prevent you from dying, your physical body will create a strain, a cocoon of cells around that area. Of course, if you continue to neglect your body, then that cocoon will grow and eventually your head will explode or you will die. But if we go one more level of complexity, the third level of complexity above the bacteria and minerals, we will get to monkeys and humans, which have color vision, and the cells in their eyes are more developed in order to perceive colors. Why is this needed? Because monkeys and humans move from tree to tree. They have to evaluate all the possibilities in their lives. They usually escape predators by hiding or by judging multiple possibilities at the same time and choosing the best one. So, in order to better evaluate your environment in the primitive commune, you need color vision. So we are now in the primitive commune, 4 levels of complexity above bacteria, and if we go to slave society in medieval, so we will get to 5, 6, or maybe 7 levels of complexity. So if you understand those levels of complexity, you will understand that it is practically impossible, even for the bacteria from Agartha and Shambhala, because the test of Agartha lasts 480 days and many people have died. Why they have died? Well, they have died because they have not respected the conditions of the test. They went out, they met with friends, they got drunk, they drank alcohol, they got drugged, they have eaten meat, they have masturbating themselves, they made sex with females, so with women, and so they have lost their lives. And this results either in a great spark of terror, and they usually start to swear other people and threaten other people and suddenly get killed, or other times they get to the medical hospital, to the mental hospital, but other times they simply phone and go and say, I cannot, please release me from the test of Agartha. And other times they kill themselves, or they kill other people. So it is a very peculiar problem. When you are in the test of Agartha and there's 480 days of testing, you are tested to the fullness of your possibilities. And if you are wise, you will understand that you are ill. And although your friends are going to the seaside and to Paris and they're having fun, you cannot. This is a very difficult period in your life, and you cannot have those pleasures now. You have to restrain yourselves. You have to conserve energy for healing your own body. Because when a bacteria from Agartha and Shambhala, when a conscious being, which is also a bacteria, interferes with you, she will leave inside you a trail of infectious diseases. which look like infections and act like infectious diseases, and you will lose partial control of yourself. You will act in a mad way. But if you stay isolated from other people, usually other people will not notice that you have gone mad unless they hear your screams at night. So this is it, my friend.